Musk is a savvy businessman who understands the benefits of collaboration. His company's most recent styling collaboration with Google is the kind of thing that shakes things up. Today, we'll learn about Elon Musk's connection with Google and how it affects everything. But before going any further, it would be really helpful if you subscribe this channel. Not only subscribing is free, but also it means a lot to us when someone's subscribed. Hope you have subscribed. Let's get started. With contracts from NASA and the launch of satellites for other firms, SpaceX is well known in the space travel industry. However, when Musk realized he'd need a lot of money to support his endeavor to populate Mars, he started SpaceX, which has grown by leaps and bounds. He devised a method of generating revenue by delivering high-speed satellite internet services, and thus Starlink was formed. While it is not a completely new business model, Starlink launched satellites into space to beam internet connectivity to people on the ground. SpaceX has successfully disrupted the business, as one would expect from Musk in every field he chooses to enter. Musk predicts that Starlink may earn $50 billion in sales per year, and it is already one of the world's most valuable privately held enterprises, with a market capitalization of about $100 billion. The following is a diagram of how satellite internet works. SpaceX launches satellites into orbit, which communicate with ground stations before transmitting signals to consumers through radio waves. SpaceX plans to launch a network of satellites around the world to provide global internet connectivity. The business has already launched 1,740 satellites into space. Because radio waves travel at the speed of light, satellite internet has the potential to be faster than fiber optic connections. Despite the fact that it is still in beta, SpaceX is putting its own satellites closer to the Earth than older internet satellite companies, and despite the fact that it is still in beta, Starlink has attracted a large number of subscribers, with over 100,000 already, demonstrating the insane amount of interest in the service. The customers are distributed across 14 countries, and once Starlink has global service, the number of subscribers will skyrocket. Musk indicated that global coverage would be available later this year and that the beta would end in October. However, SpaceX's chief financial officer, Brett Johnson, stated that the company is now generating 5,000 dishes every week. More than 500,000 customers have pre-ordered or deposited for Starlink services, implying a yearly capacity of 250,000. When Starlink exits beta, it will have no trouble attracting customers, and even then, the service will improve for customers. Because the next generation Starlink kits will cost half as much to produce, lowering the cost of setting up the dish from $499 to $99 per month. SpaceX charges $99 per month for Starlink, which is a gold mine for the space company. Others in the industry, such as Amazon, should be wary because SpaceX takes no prisoners and would wipe the floor with them. Despite having a promising business, Musk is not slowing down in his partnership formation. He's partnering with Google, whose cloud operation will provide computer and networking capabilities to assist Starlink in delivering internet services through satellite. SpaceX will deploy ground stations within Google's data centers to connect with Starlink satellites as part of the contract. This collaboration will give enterprise clients with ultra-fast internet access. We could see the results of the agreement as soon as possible, maybe this year, especially since Musk stated that Starlink would be taken out of beta status. Despite Google's scale, this transaction is significant since it provides a competitive advantage. In the cloud computing market, where it competes with software behemoth Microsoft and online retail king Amazon, Google must diversify as soon as possible because its ad business is no longer growing at its regular rate. Because its cloud computing service will be given to clients at high speed, landing a client like SpaceX is a major deal for Google. The first Google data center to host a Starlink base station is in New Albany, Ohio, followed by other data centers in the U.S. However, the majority of Google's data centers around the world would eventually be connected. Back in 2015, Google and SpaceX had a brief history. The search engine giant put $900 million into SpaceX, which was supposed to span a wide range of technology, including satellite manufacturing. As a result, it's only logical that the two companies do business together. The agreement is advantageous to all parties involved. Google will compete with Amazon, which has its own Project Kuiper satellite internet service, to provide its cloud services to more users over a safe and fast internet network. Because Starlink will be available even in rural places or sports where ISPs does not service it, Google will be able to give its cloud to anyone in any part of the world. SpaceX will gain a footing in the enterprise market when each enterprise client who signs up for Google's package also becomes a SpaceX client. Much of the company's focus has been on household or residential connectivity, but new agreement with Google will greatly expand SpaceX's reach. The client receives a simplified package in which they do not have to deal with two separate contracts, and more importantly, they can access Google Cloud regardless of their location, which means that even research stations in remote locations, such as the North Pole or the desert, can store and access data via a high-speed connection. They can also use Google Cloud infrastructure instead of a local computer to execute their applications, which includes AI, machine learning, and analytics. Google Cloud Senior Vice President of Infrastructure, Urs Hosel, commented on the partnership, saying, "Google is delighted to partner with SpaceX to ensure organizations with distributed footprints have seamless, secure, and fast access to the critical applications and services they need to keep their teams running." According to people in the know, SpaceX's president and chief operating officer, Gwen Shotwell, praised the partnership and explained that combining Starlink high-speed, low-latency broadband with Google's infrastructure and capabilities provides global organizations with the secure and fast connection that they expect. The Google-SpaceX partnership might continue up to 7 years. Google has already spent a significant amount of money to build a private fiber optic network to connect its data centers. Although it boasts high-profile clients, such as Goldman Sachs and Snap, Google isn't the only cloud provider interested in partnering with Starlink. Microsoft has quoted SpaceX to provide Starlink internet access to its modular Azure cloud data centers, which clients may construct anywhere. However, because data from a customer's Azure modular data center will still pass through Starlink satellite and end up in Google's data center before moving on to other cloud services, this strategy will still involve Google. Meanwhile, SpaceX is looking for cooperation in the aviation industry as well. If you've ever wanted for low-latency half-gigabit internet connectivity while flying, Musk said on Twitter that he's in talks with commercial airlines to make your wish a reality. When a fan asked if he had any plans to make Starlink available aboard airlines, he verified this directly, prior to Musk's tweet, though SpaceX's Vice President Jonathan Hoffman confirmed that his company was in talks with many airlines to add Starlink in-flight Wi-Fi. According to the executive, SpaceX has previously demonstrated the technology and is on the verge of releasing products. He even highlighted how, because Starlink provides a global mesh, any aircraft flying beneath the global mesh will have connectivity wherever they travel. For SpaceX, this styling company will scale quickly. It is currently manufacturing the dishes for between $1,300 and $1,500, implying that it is swallowing up the loss on each dish. However, with its new discovery that cuts production costs in half, losses on the dishes are decreased, and SpaceX could return its investment faster through monthly subscriptions. When SpaceX adopts the new dish design, it may be able to boost RAM production volume. Economies of scale will kick in, allowing SpaceX to further reduce production costs while also allowing for possible breakthroughs. We might get to a stage where the cost of production is less than the $499 charged by SpaceX for the dish. SpaceX might then decide whether to cut the price even further to expand its customer base or to keep the difference as pure profit. If SpaceX succeeds to increase production to 1 million dishes by 2022, it will generate $500 million in income from dish sales alone, as well as an additional $100 million every month. It will take no more than 2 years for SpaceX to develop Starlink into a multi-billion-dollar company and start printing money. This cooperation with Google and airlines will be beneficial to SpaceX since it will introduce enterprise clients to the mix, accelerating the company's progress towards self-sustainability. That's it for today. So guys, what are your thoughts on SpaceX's styling satellite internet? Let us know in the comments. If you want to see more videos of Tesla and Elon Musk, we have 2 more videos for you, floating left and right side on the screen. If you enjoy watching it, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel, and pressing the bell button is a great way to show your support. See you in the next one.